He's led 6 study sessions and 6 neighborhood budget meetings within a 3-month period. Rick, you truly are essential to the fiscal well-being of this city. Would you please stand for a well-earned round of applause? As many of you know, I always kid Rick about the need to have toothpicks handy during our meetings, our study sessions, when our eyelids may grow a little bit heavy during his often lengthy budget reports. In keeping with that tradition, we provided toothpicks on every table, just in case the audience finds my presentation as exciting as Rick's. Through innovation, city employees have turned crisis into unsolved opportunities and found creative solutions. For example, we found a way to keep the new $4.3 million Morrison Park Fire Station open, demonstrating our commitment to maintain the best level of service we can afford. Fire Chief Abdul Ahmed was critical to the problem solving that secured the continued operation of Fire Station 99. Chief Ahmed, would you please stand for a well-deserved round of applause? Moreno Valley is proud to partner with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. We are proud of all the dedicated men and women who serve as Moreno Valley Police Department. Balancing the budget meant painful cuts to the MVPD this year. Chief Ontiveros, we appreciate your positive attitude demonstrated by your department, which keeps our residents safe despite the ongoing fiscal challenges. Chief, will you stand alongside Sheriff's Chief Deputy Patricia Knudsen so that we can applaud your efforts? For more than 25 years, Moreno Valley's story has been dominated by the narrative of boom or bust. In the good times, construction is booming and the jobs are plentiful. Crime drops as the city can afford more police, home values increase, city spending increases, and everyone is happy. In the bust times, jobs disappear, crime rates increase, schools deteriorate, and many neighborhoods become destabilized. City government is left with a legacy of high taxes, shrinking revenues, growing liabilities, persistent deficits, and crumbling infrastructure. But this is not how it has to be. We have broken the cycle. We must continue to take a long-term perspective to anticipate the ups and downs and plan carefully to spare this community from the wide swings we have endured since the city was formed back in 1984. By staying on our current fiscal course and by seizing unsolved opportunities, Moreno Valley can smooth the effects of the bust or boom cycles. Moreno Valley can be safer. Public education can improve. Property values can increase as a result. Current businesses and new businesses can be encouraged to make new investments, which will lead to new jobs for all of Moreno Valley citizens. Moreno Valley has a lot of great attributes: affordable housing, business-ready land, and relatively low crime rates. But you wouldn't know about the crime rates if you read the newspaper or watched the TV. Moreno Valley sometimes gets a bad rap when it comes to crime statistics. You can see that the crime rates per 1,000 residents is actually lower in Moreno Valley than it is in Riverside, Ontario, and San Bernardino. So let me see if I can point that out. This chart's a bit hard to read. Moreno Valley is the little squares here in black. And you will notice that this chart, in every category, Moreno Valley is low. So, this is us right here. This is our sister city, Riverside. Blue. The perception is that it's a safe city. But truthfully, if you want to be safe and your family safe, you would pick up from Riverside and move to Moreno Valley. Thanks to you and your efforts, Chief. So again, another round of applause. No elected official wants to make cuts to police and fire. But when 80 cents of every dollar that the city spends goes to public safety, this city council committed to making cuts while securing public safety. This is one way we stay away from the boom and the bust. We now manage our resources in a cost-effective and innovative way. The new citywide camera system is an excellent example of this. Force multiplier is the term to use to describe the impact of the new citywide camera system that has been installed at intersections and in parks. It acts as an additional 247 pairs of eyes, 24/7. The city's citywide camera system has already been instrumental in solving several crimes. This technology also allows business owners to link their security cameras to the citywide camera system, providing another force multiplier. In another innovative force multiplier, the City Council approved a public-private partnership with LSSI to manage Moreno Valley's public library. Under this agreement, we are pleased that LSSI will reestablish 7-day service to our library patrons, increase the current book and material budget by 200% per year, and save taxpayers more than $1.3 million over the 5-year contract period. The contractor also offered 19 out of 20 city library employees a job, and we are happy that members of the city family will continue to serve our community. So again, the city staff deserves a round of applause. It is no secret that job creation is the driving force behind nearly every decision we make and every direction to staff. Job creation is what we need to grow this community, to keep the working parents closer to home, and to increase the tax base and the economic multipliers. Job creation is job one because the unemployment rate in Moreno Valley is 11.8%. To put that into context, what this number really means is that 10,600 of our neighbors need a job. And there are thousands others who have settled for part-time jobs or simply given up. They are not counted in this 10,600 figure. So they may have given up, but this city has not given up on them. To combat unemployment, the city analyzed our community's strengths and weaknesses. It is interesting to me that when the city hired well-known economist John Husing to study local demographics, economic trends, and potential industry targets, the study's analysis concluded that logistics and healthcare are the industries that are Moreno Valley's best fit. With that result, some in the media discounted the legitimacy of the report and suggested that Beacon Economics would be a more authoritative source for this type of analysis. The good sports that we are, we asked Beacon to provide us with an analysis. And guess what? Pursuing logistics and healthcare as major unemployment sectors for Moreno Valley continue to be the leading economic recommendation for our city. In fact, the regional intelligence report written by Beacon for the city of Riverside produced the exact same conclusion. Why am I not surprised? Yet another innovation for Moreno Valley, which the city of Riverside has used for decades, we are now using. So our newest secret weapon to boost business attraction and job creation is the Moreno Valley Utility. The Moreno Valley Utility was formed in 2001, became profitable for the first time this year as a result of the addition of Skechers and Harbor Freight, allowing the city to create an incentive that provides tiered utility rates for significant job creation. This incentivizes job creation with our own utility. And this is a prime example of the strong foundation we're building and which demonstrates our commitment to creating a robust employment environment in the city of Moreno Valley. The only question you need to ask is, why wasn't it done before? To complement these efforts, we are making strategic infrastructure improvements to strengthen the city's transportation network. I see some toothpicks. We need some toothpicks out here. There's an emergency toothpick right over here at this table 5. All right. To complement these efforts, we're making strategic infrastructure improvements to strengthen the city's transportation network. In fiscal year 2012 to 13 alone, the city completed 27 capital improvement projects, totaling approximately $46 million in investment. Public Works Director and City Engineer Ahmad Ansari, will you please stand and be recognized for your department's critical contribution to our city's progress? Between a new freeway overcrossing and street extensions that now connect Nason to Iris, several new projects have improved traffic circulation for the area's medical institutions, including Riverside County Regional Medical Center, the Allied Health Education programs at Moreno Valley College and Kaiser Permanente. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to the Kaiser people. Where are you? Is there anybody from Kaiser here? They bought a table, I think. But I want to give them a shout out because they took care of me for 2 times. When I had my heart issue, I went there. They took great care of me. And when I was bit by the dog, I went to the Kaiser. I went to the Kaiser facility recently, and they took great care of me. And to the press enterprise, I thought I saw Suzanne Hurt here. Suzanne, I want to give you the backstory, which the press enterprise should have run, but didn't because they didn't ask me. After Jack, the golden retriever, bit me, the Kaiser staff put me in quarantine for 3 days. The good news is that Jack survived, and he doesn't have to take any rabies shots. The infrastructure projects on Nason are already paying dividends, and the regional significance is huge. Kaiser Permanente just completed a beautiful 75,000 square foot medical office and created more than 165 new healthcare jobs. In addition, UCR secured the annual $15 million in state funding for the first medical school approved in California in more than 4 decades. We are extremely excited about the UCR School of Medicine because Riverside County Regional Medical Center is designated to be one of UCR's clinical partners. So far, the School of Medicine has already created more than 125 local jobs, with nearly 1,000 projected by 2021. I'd like to acknowledge the help that Assemblymember Jose Medina and Senator Richard Roth were. I know their staff is here, they are not, but they deserve a lot of credit for their help in achieving this. So give them a round of applause. Fully developed major arterials that link to freeways are critical to providing transportation networks for good movement. To establish Moval's prominence in the logistics area, the City Council invested $5.7 million in the South Moreno Valley industrial area to widen Paris Boulevard from Cactus Avenue south to the city limits. City governments play a key role in promoting economic development, job creation, and job readiness. Over the past few months, we have refined the city's strategy to do more to support Moreno Valley's small businesses. This past year alone, we budgeted for the city's first small business incubator program. Small business incubators, more often than not, encourage minority business. We began the Sunnymead Boulevard Cleanup Initiative to boost business by decreasing crime and enhancing the aesthetics of the area. Chief, again, a deserved round of applause to your force for doing its part in cleaning up this city and getting behind our initiative. Thank you very much. We have taken the first steps to form a visitors bureau, which will work on behalf of our local hotels and service vendors. While bringing new business to the community is a priority, we remain committed to promoting the vitality of existing businesses. We have established a business concierge service headed up by Denise Bagley. Denise assists any business maneuver through the business or any business to maneuver through the development process. She helps businesses solve issues, and especially in the employment area. Denise, could you please stand and take a bow? We also promote outreach to our small businesses through a relationship building program and one-on-one business visitation program. Denise, John Terrell, and I personally have met with local businesses to learn more about what industries need and what we can do as a city to help them. We find that as more businesses come into the city, we are not equipped with the workforce that they need. A question that I always ask before leaving is, what obstacle do you face as a company to expansion and more job creation in Moreno Valley? Denise and I have heard time and time again that as more companies come to Moreno Valley, the workforce does not get bigger, and therefore there's more competition for work-ready employment. So one area that we've been successful in helping with is the hiring process. Denise ensures that businesses know that the Employment Resource Center is a tool for business. The ERC helps businesses quickly assess the local labor pool and get help with the overall hiring process. I mentioned our industry attraction strategy earlier. Now I'll tell you about our successes. I won't name them all, but you can see that Moreno Valley became the new home to several new retail restaurant, medical offices, and logistic firms this year. Specifically, if you haven't already heard, there are a few new businesses that I can talk about, plus a few others that I can only hint about so that Daryl and Marion don't try and steal them. First, in the commercial sector, Moreno Valley may become a two-super Walmart town. A new Walmart supercenter is proposed just north of Home Depot near Paris Boulevard and Iris Avenue. We are looking forward to the convenience that this new store represents to residents of Moreno Valley, the new jobs it will create, and its positive effect on our local economy. Another new store to celebrate is Stater Brothers. In the northwest part of Moreno Valley, which was hit hard by the loss of two major grocery store chains. The new store will produce roughly 100 new jobs and generate an investment of approximately $1.5 million in improvements. This won't be just any store either, as it has been distinguished as a blue ribbon Stater Brothers store. So congratulations again, John Terrell, for your help in achieving this. Give John. In the restaurant category, we are also excited to welcome Omagazi, Polly's Pies, Miguel Jr., all establishments that have selected Moreno Valley as their new home. Thankfully, we've also welcomed LA Fitness in my district in the Crunch Gym in the Moreno Valley Mall, which should help us all deal with the extra calories we're going to get from eating all those Polly Pies. As a prop, you know, a lot of people that I talk to say, well, you know, business development, gee whiz, a few fast foods, so what? As a post-Prop 13 city, Moreno Valley's revenue growth depends on sales taxes produced by new commercial businesses, not property taxes. Therefore, high-volume, high-grossing businesses like gas stations and restaurants are vital to our economic future. In the industrial section, I am delighted to welcome Aldi Food to our logistic and retail community. The Chicago-based grocer plans to invest $55 million to create its West Coast headquarters and distribution center in the east end of town. Aldi is expected to produce nearly 300 jobs and plans to open 2 retail stores as well. Dennis Rice, are you here? Would you give Dennis Rice a round of applause? So you ask, why are you applauding Dennis Rice? Well, Dennis Rice is the head of Ridge Property Trust, and he is the man responsible for bringing us Aldi. Thank you again, Dennis, for your investment in our city. You have been one of the most reliable partners a city could ever have. Thank you. Give Dennis. There are actually 2 more Fortune 500 companies which have signed leases for a combined total of 3 million square feet of logistics space that I would love to announce today. But they'd kill me if I did. And Daryl and Marion would have folks over there right away trying to make them a better deal. All the time, Marion would be saying, well, we just was checking it out. We really want it here in Moreno Valley. But we know. He wins either way. If it goes in the county, he gets credit. If it comes here, he gets credit. Suffice it to say, thousands of new jobs are on the way to Moreno Valley as a result of our economic development efforts headed by John Terrell. Give John Terrell a round of applause. John is our interim Community and Economic Development Director. He served Moreno Valley for 23 years. During his tenure, John has also worked in economic development, redevelopment, and neighborhood preservation. 3-4 years ago, it was my observation that this is the job John should have had a long time ago. And I told him if I ever had an opportunity to influence his selection, I would use it. Strange how things work out, isn't it, John? Congratulations. Thank you very much. This is not what you think. This guy he's close to retirement. He could have just coasted through for the next. He didn't have to take this headache on, but he stood up because he loves this city. Thanks you, John. Thank you very much. More than 2,000 jobs were created over several industries with the addition of new businesses plus the expansion of existing ones over the past year. While we celebrated the addition of new jobs to the community, we won't be satisfied until every one of the 10,600 unemployed residents of this city has a job. And that deserves a round of applause. To drive this point home, I want to quote from 3 very distinguished people. First, Marion Ashley. Second, Aston Kutcher. And Dag Hammarskjöld. Now, when I said Dag Hammarskjöld, our esteemed city manager and her assistant said, who the hell is he? Now, don't be reporting that I'm cursing, Nels. So, Dag Hammarskjöld was a very great Secretary General of the United Nations and maybe one of the last that we should recognize. But, so here are the quotes. Marion, do you have any clue what I'm going to say? All right, Marion Ashley most eloquently puts it this way. Everyone deserves the dignity of a job. Am I close? Thank you. Aston Kutcher recently put it this way at the Teen Choice Awards. I've never had a job in my life that I was better than. I was always just lucky to have a job. And every job I had was a stepping stone to my next job. And finally, Dag Hammarskjöld said this. The only kind of dignity which is genuine is that which is not diminished by the indifference of others. One last observation. I've noticed that everyone that calls the types of jobs that we're bringing to Moreno Valley demeaning already has a job. No doubt, balancing the city's budget and creating jobs to reduce unemployment are priorities at City Hall. Yet we are also dedicating ourselves to improving city services to our residents through more quality of life programming. City leadership must project to the year 2020 and lay out a set of goals that will lead us to placement in the top 300 livable cities in the United States. This must be a goal for our city. A city can not only be economically sound, it must be livable. We've taken the first steps with enhanced service levels at City Hall, the library, the animal shelter, and the Employment Resource Center. These positive changes mark significant progress towards restoring customer service levels back to 100%. As of July 1, city service hours were restored by 5%, reducing the impact of the 10% employee furlough which has been in place for 4 years. Enhancing communications and facilitating opportunities for participation engages residents' interest in our programs and produces public confidence. This year, to become even more transparent, we've expanded video coverage of public meetings by televising study sessions live. The police department hosted 24 public meetings about the citywide camera system, and the council hosted a total of 12 meetings to discuss the budget process and its challenges. Our media group is keeping us contemporary by utilizing more social media to communicate with you. Toothpick alert over here on table 4. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, and that means not liked it, but liked it, quote unquote, or if you aren't following us on Twitter, you are missing out on a great way to know what's happening in our city. We also produce a monthly electronic newsletter that you can subscribe to on the city's website. Finally, we're establishing social neighborhoods using Nextdoor.com. The City of Riverside has used this very successfully in the last few years to bring people together and to share information. Out of the necessity of balancing the budget, we are engaging newly energized citizenry. More than 900 volunteers have selflessly worked in a variety of departments. For example, out of the passion for community, Shore Denny, Moreno Valley's Volunteer of the Year, put together the Moreno Valley Safe Routes for School program, and she's agreed to head up our new neighborhood program. And we have pastors organizing prayer walks to focus attention on crime in our city. Is Shore here? She deserves a round of applause even if she isn't, so give her one. Many community service organizations in the city, including the Salvation Army, Seroptimist, the Optimist, the Rotary Groups, the Military Affairs Committee, the American Legion, the VFW, the Elks, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and many others all donate time and other resources toward the betterment of Moreno Valley and its people. They are all to be commended. Everyone in Moreno Valley has the opportunity to give back, and I encourage you all to get involved with one of these groups. Please give these groups a round of applause. Since last year's election, and after a year of careful study with national experts, we are prepared to propose a bold set of major initiatives to retain and attract commerce and jobs. These forces for change are already moving forward. First, our city must address public safety costs that grow more quickly than our entire revenue stream. We must look for new ways to maximize the efficiency of public safety services. This community cannot afford to continue business as usual when it comes to public safety. It's time for bold, new thinking. We are working with nationally acclaimed public safety experts, including former LA, Boston, and New York Police Chief Bill Bratton, to find ways to actually lower the crime rate in our community. In undertaking this groundbreaking initiative, the city, in concert with our police department, local residents, and perhaps even neighboring cities, can fight to enhance public safety rather than just cut costs to provide these vital services. Second, our city faces critical infrastructure needs over the next decade, including roads, bridges, and city buildings that require significant investment to meet the needs of the thriving community we wish to become. The Edgemont area needs a major water infrastructure upgrade. Councilmember Victoria Baca didn't take no for an answer when she asked if it was possible to provide residents of that area with a more reliable water system. Rather than accepting the unsatisfactory status quo in Edgemont, she is boldly leading cooperation with Box Springs Mutual Water Company in a proposed grant application. Victoria, this council salutes you for your leadership in this vital effort. And she's not here, but give her a round of applause. You know, and I might add that there were funding avenues available for the last 20 years that could have fixed this water system, but didn't. They were not used. So again, Victoria Baca is a purpose-driven council member, and thank God we have her. Third, We must get our employees back to work to serve residents and businesses throughout the week. It's important to eliminate city furloughs and provide affordable, competitive benefits that help us attract and retain a highly skilled workforce in a fiscally prudent manner. Fourth, we must increase the city's general fund revenue because our post-Prop 13 tax rate impedes our ability to compete for growth with cities that incorporated years before Moreno Valley did. Fifth, we must sustain our commitment to increased high school graduation rates and improved student performance. This is essential, not only for our children's success, but also for our property values and our economic growth. Under the leadership of our two school boards, of which both superintendents are here, would you please, Dr. White and Dr. Lopez, stand and take a bow? Under the leadership of our two school boards, student graduation rates have begun to improve. But the fight for better schools is far from over. The city and local employers must put more skin in the game and seek a renewed partnership with school officials to create a workforce that meets the needs of incoming businesses. We will also look to our business community for insight and curriculum collaboration, and we do that for several reasons. It is the right thing to do for our children, and Moreno Valley's future depends on it. Sixth, we must incentivize businesses to reoccupy vacant businesses, bringing renewal and vibrancies to our shopping centers, creating jobs, and improving our tax base over the long run. In conclusion, boy, you guys were waiting for that, weren't you? In conclusion, Moreno Valley's future is optimistic and opportunities abound. This city council has finally put the city on solid financial footing. Now it's up to us to stay the course, to remain mindful of what created the fiscal problems we're now solving, and to keep our eyes on the long-term goal, a future in which we remain fiscally strong and can afford to build new libraries, community centers, repair our streets, graduate 100% of our high school students, and maintain adequate police services and fire protection. Moreno Valley's citizens demand and deserve continued progress. The status quo is unacceptable, and the price of inaction is a burden we cannot place on our children or our grandchildren. To those of you who will say, and there will be those who will say this, that we are not up to the task, I want to remind you what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. He said, "Nothing in the world is more dangerous than a sincere ignorance and a conscientious stupidity." Moreno Valley's leaders must always remember the words of the great Nelson Mandela. He said, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." We've come too far. We've made too much progress to turn back to the old ways of doing business. Moreno Valley is on the cusp of taking its rightful leadership role in the region. The future begins now. Thank you, God bless you, and may God continue to bless the great city of Moreno Valley.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council Members Victoria Baca, Jesse Molina, and Richard Stewart for representing us at the State of the City. This concludes our State of the City luncheon. Thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the City Celebration event on Friday, November 15th. Remember, shop Chamber members, shop local, shop Moreno Valley. Enjoy the rest of your day.